Hello everyone. I decided to put together this little video to highlight a couple of tools which I find are really invaluable when working on older school assemblies like carburetors and distributors with points and condensers, things like that. Things with small spring clips, small screws that are hard to manipulate with your fingers. I just find that these two tools, which might be a little obscure to some people, I just think they're almost must-haves if you're going to be working on those types of assemblies often. I'll start off with the screw starter, I guess, first. And what this is this is a tool that, as you can see, it has a slot there that can be manipulated to where when it's straight, it can be maneuvered into the slot of a screw. And then with quite a bit of spring pressure, you can see it will snap when it's released, and then that centerpiece will actually grab the screw. And that way, when you have the screw grabbed by the tool, you're able to then manipulate that screw in such a manner that you can put it into an assembly or somewhere that your fingers can't reach. And I'll try to demonstrate that for you here. See if we can do this. So once again, we're just going to install this onto the screw head, and you just put it in the slot, and then you would just put some pressure on it, and there you go. You have that screw contained, and it is captured, and then you can manipulate that screw and place it into areas that you might not be able to do so easily with your fingers. Also, you can get a screw loose and then use this tool to grab the screw and then back it out the remaining distance and pull it out of an assembly very easily. One more feature that's kind of nice is that, and there's the little spring-loaded mechanism that allows it to function. And one more nice feature that it has is that it has a magnet on the end of it, which is very useful if you do happen to drop your screw into assembly or what have you. You're able to retrieve it. It's also got a nice little clip there that you can put in a shirt in a pocket. So this is called a screw starter, and both of these tools are very reasonable. I would say that the screw starter is probably under $15. And this other tool, which is a little obscure, I haven't seen them very often. I would say it's not very expensive either. And that little tool is one that I call a Jesus Christ clip remover. And the reason for that is because, sometimes these C-clips, like this here, they're under some spring-loaded pressure, and when you push them off with a screwdriver, sometimes they fly across the shop, and you say, Jesus Christ, where did that clip go? So I call it a Jesus Christ clip remover. But anyway, I have not seen these very much on the market, but I assume you can still get them from like a tool truck, maybe a Snap-on truck or a Mack truck. And what this is this is spring-loaded right here, and it's got a rod that goes through this tube. And on the other end of that tube, it's got a hook. And so you can push that hook out, and you can grab hold of a clip and then release the spring, and it will just set very nicely at the end of this tool. And then you can manipulate that clip to either pull it off or install it, or just do whatever you want to much more easily than you can with your fingers. And here again, I'll try to see if I can demonstrate that a little bit here. So you might have your clip or whatever that's in an assembly. You can just manipulate this right here and grab that clip. And then once that clip is grabbed, it's very stable. You can turn it, you can put it in whatever position you need to either install it or pull it off. And when you pull it off, you can just put it right in your little bin that you're capturing your small parts for, instead of what happens many times is you try to take it off with a screwdriver, and then it flies across the room, and you just hope that you have some new ones in your in your package. But both of these tools are maybe somewhat obscure, I think. I've not seen the clip remover in many places, but once again, I think if you're working with these types of assemblies very often, I think you would just be well worth your while to get these two tools, and they're very reasonable. They're not expensive at all, and they just make life much more easy. This screw starter can be had in a slotted version, and it can also be had in a Phillips head version. Although I will say that I've had much better luck with the slotted versions than the Phillips heads. The Phillips heads don't seem to grab quite as well. They do work, but not quite as well. But if you've ever taken points and condensers out, those screws are very small, hard to manipulate with your fingers. You're putting them down in a area where they can get lost and get under assemblies. And same way with carburetors. You might need to take, say, the two screws out of a Quadrajet that are down in the throat of the carburetor. You can loosen those screws and then take them the rest of the way out with your screw starter here. And anyway, I just wanted to highlight these two tools, and they might come in handy for some of you, and you might want to look around at your, I would say, if I was going to try to round up these parts, I would probably go to a Snap-on truck or a Mack truck, and I would ask them if they could direct me, or if they had them, or could direct me to the right place to get them. Anyway, I thank you for listening, and maybe this will help you out in the future. Thank you.